Hey there YouTube, I am Ninja Tom and welcome to episode 11 of my walkthrough for Homeworld. So, fleet's a little scattered about here in Karaos Graveyard, that's fine. We're going to go ahead and just make the hyperspace jump and get our ships all sorted out when we get there.
Initiated.
Skip cutscenes. Okay, so, welcome to the Bridge of Sighs. This is an interesting mission.
All ships auto-launching.
Each of these red dots in the sphere around this central point is an ion cannon frigate.
Hyperspace successful.
There are
We are
150
at the edge
ion
of the
cannon
Homeworld
frigates for
system.
your salvaging pleasure in this mission. So if we finish that cutscene thing real quick.
Nelson's information.
Yep. Though I will note that if this is the
All ships
least defended
auto-launching.
field generator, I am
All ships
terrified
auto-launching.
to see the most defended one. You know? So all of our ships are launching. I'll note that I've increased the number of salvage corvettes we have up to 30. Because in general, your first little poke at them that you're going to take will net you about 15. And if you want, you can continue making your pokes. Like when you go and grab them, you can make it so that you will pretty much generally get 15. At this point of the game, we are pretty much done harvesting resources if you're doing this Ninja Tom style. I will note, however, that even if you feel comfortable with the number of resources and ships that you have, there's no need do not get rid of your resource collectors. They have one final task that they may help with in the next mission. For this mission, our primary group is going to be a carrier, or all of our carriers, our salvage corvettes, our heavy corvettes, and some destroyers along for fire support, and support frigates to support. Alright. If your proximity sensors are currently set to dock with your carrier, and are popping out so they're all attached to them, go ahead and pull them back. It's very important to note that in this mission, if you have a large number of proximity sensors like I do not set them to a formation, and do not bring a lot of them with your carriers. Okay, just bring a couple, however many you need. They're fast. If you need another one, you can get in there quickly. And the reason I'm telling you this is because when proximity sensors form in a formation, they form in a large formation. They essentially create a net beyond which cloaked ships cannot pass. And this is great, except when you're trying to not poke a bunch of ion cannon frigates. They will grab, if you're not paying attention, they will grab like an entire half of the sphere. You don't want 30, 40, or more ion cannon frigates coming at you. That's a lot of ion cannon. So let's get all of our dudes nice and sorted out here.
Mothership.
Take your time.
Mothership.
There's no real rush.
Mothership.
Note that enemy resources will at some point eventually try to harvest the resources here. That's fine. You can kill them or capture them as you please. There are 3 hyperspace gates, one here, one here, and one here. The first one you come across, when you poke it, it'll spit out some strike craft. After that, when you shoot it, it'll spit out some strike craft, and then after you take out the strike craft, 2 destroyers and a missile cruiser will emerge. This is the pattern that holds true for all 3 of them, except after having poked the first one, the other 2 will just have their destroyers out. And if you ignore one, those destroyers will then head immediately. If you ignore one and then go for the hyperspace inhibitor, those destroyers will go immediately for your mothership. So just be aware of that. If you've been sending, we currently have enough firepower at our mothership right now
Advancements in sensor fidelity
to handle
which would allow us to determine the
strike
location of enemy ships. We
especially
advise commencing
if
research
you've
immediately.
got more ion cannon frigates than I do, you're fine.
Commencing
Your multi-beams
sensors
can
array
handle it on
research.
their own. You need to repair them. Okay, so we're gonna move our carriers just a wee bit in front of the mothership. You want to keep them a good distance away. so that when you send your salvage corvettes to go and capture the ion frigates, they don't accidentally draw more. You may occasionally see me do this several times where I'll go and grab and intentionally grab the 2 or 3 around the ion cannon frigate that I just captured. You'll note that I do not do this on the first run. That's something to do on later runs, and something I do on purpose, and if you're not comfortable with that, that's fine. You don't need to do that. That's entirely up to you. So we're just going to go ahead and grab a few of our little support frigates here. Yeah, 6 seems like a good number. We're going to assign them a group.
Designated.
We're going to tell them to escort our carriers. We're just getting our fleet sorted out right now. These are our final assignments.
Mothership.
Alright, we're going to grab some destroyers. These 4 destroyers. And 2 missile destroyers. Feel free to mix this up if you want, but don't bring your entire fleet. It'll make a already long mission even longer. Alright, so.
Group 3 copies. Group 5 responding. Awaiting assignment.
You will be Group 4.
Acknowledged.
One thing that you can do that I don't really touch upon is the fact that you can have 2 separate formations
Formation. Reporting for duty.
within the same group. So I can still select Group 4 and tell them to do things, but they will move and engage and think and act as 2 wholly separate formations that have just been given the same command. So keep that in mind. It's just another different way to organize your fleet. Okay?
Responding.
Go ahead and tell these guys to guard these 4.
Flight enemy engaged. Assuming guard position. Coordinates confirmed. Standing by.
Going to get
Ready for orders.
our ion cannon frigates
Receiving.
Group 8
in a nice little
assigned.
wall formation so that they're ready to go.
Awaiting assignment or set. Flight pattern to wall.
Get our Heavy corvettes in their nice little wall formation so they're ready to go.
Receiving. Establishing wall formation. Coordinates confirmed.
We're going to send a couple.
Acknowledged.
Yeah, we'll send a couple drone frigates.
Receiving.
Just
Acknowledged.
1 drone frigate, I think will suffice, with 2 missile destroyers providing support as well. And we'll tell him to guard
Acknowledged. Ready for
the
escort.
missile destroyers so he doesn't get blown up.
Deploying drones. Roger.
Okay,
Reporting.
so we don't have any defenders right now. That's
Mothership.
fine. Nothing wrong with having some defenders though, so let's go ahead and set those to build
Construction commencing.
while we're moseying around out here. So, our fleet is more or less in position and ready to go.
3.
Now, the ion cannon frigates, well, first I'll explain what I'm doing here. We're going to take a proximity sensor. You don't have to use a proximity sensor, you can use a scout. I like to use the proximity sensor because it's small, it's fast, and it doesn't run out of fuel. We're going to take a proximity sensor, we're going to move it next to the enemy fleet, and then we're going to watch the sensors manager. And when we see the red dots around it start to move, we're going to pull him back past the support for the salvage corvettes. Now, these enemy ion cannon frigates, the AI in this one is this.
Sensors array research.
Oh,
complete.
sweet. I'll totally start building that after this is
Sensors
finished.
array available for construction.
Their AI makes it so that when they perceive a target,
Understood.
they will drop everything they're doing and immediately go after that one target,
Production
to the
underway.
exclusion of every other ship, meaning they're actually quite easy to capture. Their only real difficulty is derived from the fact that they come at you from above and below
Underway.
the plane. So you have to be pretty diligent about making sure you grab all of them. This first poke should bring about 15. This will be the largest one you capture, unless you intentionally move your fleet around and grab them from the most undamaged sized. You can get 3, 4, I think 6 total sets of 15. For me, I'm going to grab just over 50. Yep, just over 50 ion cannon corvettes. Or frigates. Ion cannon corvettes would be pretty cool. Ion cannon frigates. That's the number I shoot for. That's how many I grab pretty much every time I play this mission. It works. It's exactly as many as I need.
Group 4 responding.
And then I get the unrivaled pleasure of flying around and blowing up enemy ships. Because at this point, we've been gathering ships this entire time. Being very careful to be cost efficient.
Sensors array complete.
Capture as many as we can. But after I get like ion cannon frigate, like number 52, I'm throwing all that out the window. And I'm just going to relax and blow the crap out of the enemy ships that we're going to be encountering. You can continue capturing ships from this point.
Selected for salvaging.
However, beware that
Standing by.
you may grab too many ships for your fleet to hyperspace, so save before you do so.
Reporting for duty.
Also be aware that the enemy fleet will scale in response to the size of your fleet. The AI doesn't have nearly as much problems with controlling multiple strike groups as we mere humans do.
Salvage target acquired.
Also, its fleets are proactive. They kind of just start off in formation, where you have to get them to get into formation. 150 ion cannon frigates take a while to get in any formation
Salvage target acquired.
because of how far away from each other they are to begin with. Alright, so we're just going to move down here.
Understood.
Get this one in line of sight so I can tell them to capture it. Don't be too worried
Reporting.
if an enemy frigate sort of slips past
Target selected for
your
salvage.
salvage corvettes. They are more than fast enough to catch them, and the proximity sensor is more than fast enough to avoid them.
Waiting on target
Just
acquired.
beware of what's happening.
On our way.
Stay flexible and be able to react
Awaiting
to
assignment.
unexpected circumstances.
Green line confirmed. Acknowledged. Destination locked in.
They will only attack your proximity sensor
Reporting. New heading set.
to the exclusion of all other ships.
Acknowledged.
But note that this only applies to the ones that were grabbed by the proximity sensor. If you actually get some
Stand by, receiving.
accidentally or on purpose grabbed by your salvage corvettes,
Target acquired. Acknowledged. Salvage target
like
acquired.
to pull them off of their little formation here, then they will target those salvage corvettes. So I move my entire group of salvage corvettes forward, and then I peel them off 2 by 2 to go after specific frigates.
Receiving.
Enemy ion cannon frigate captured.
Okay, looks like we've got all the ones that are coming. There aren't any stragglers this time. So I'm gonna break here,
Salvage field released.
and I'll come back after. I will break here, and then I'll come back when we. I'm going to sort of widen this gap here to make sure that when we go for this hyperspace gate, we don't actually pull these, accidentally
ion
pull these
cannon
ion
frigate
cannon
captured.
frigates. It's not a big concern if you do, because you only pull 2, maybe 3 at a time, and that's why we have our destroyer escort out here. So, you know, this mission is very intimidating. If you've never played it before, just be aware that you can totally handle it.
Enemy ion cannon frigate
Unless you
captured.
manage to screw up magnificently, they're not all going to come at you at once, so you'll be able to take them apart piecemeal. Okay? Alright. I'll be back. One quick thing to note, if you bring up all 4 of your carriers, they'll actually come at you, so the ion frigates will actually be so spread out that they'll actually
Enemy
be
ion
different
cannon frigate
carriers
captured.
closer to the salvage corvettes, so they won't necessarily bring them all to the same one if you bring more. This will speed up this process, which is important because it's a very long
Enemy ion
process.
cannon frigate captured.
Okay? Alright. Another thing to be aware of is keep your salvage corvettes fueled up.
Standing by.
They have to go a long distance.
Receiving.
Enemy ion cannon frigate captured.
Ready for orders.
There's a lot of flying around in this mission over very large distances for them. And you don't want them to run out of gas at the wrong moment.
Enemy ion cannon frigate captured.
Okay.
Reinforced.
Alright, guys. So we've processed our first wave in. I've assigned them to group 9. I'm going to put them in our formation, and I'm going to get them out of the way. Out of the way. Don't have them hang around next to the
Group 9 reassigned.
capturing operations. You don't want them anyone necessarily shooting ion beams in the middle of your ships. So, now that we've captured our first set of ion cannon frigates, what's the first thing we're going to do? We're going to save our game. Sure. Because this is a long mission. It can be very discouraging if you have to restart it because of a silly mistake. And even more discouraging when you realize that you didn't save. You have to do a lot of this stuff again. Alright? Save, 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 save. So, here's your first hyperspace gate.
Group 4 acknowledged. Group 3 receiving.
We're gonna get
Green line confirmed.
our salvage corvettes in a nice swoopy position so they can swoop down on it. Yep, swoopy, that's the thing. I'm not making it up.
Understood.
We're gonna move a carrier over. I will discuss why in a moment. Once everyone's nice and ready and comfortable,
Intercept course punched in.
we'll move our destroyers forward and have them take a little poke at it.
Group 2 acknowledged.
Let's send our heavy corvettes first.
Acknowledged.
We'll want them nearby.
Engine control reporting.
Now, the drone frigate makes an excellent point defense, but we're going to want a little more proactive anti-strike. Aha! Look. We managed to grab a straggler. Looks like he latched onto the destroyers, so we will be able to just grab him with the salvage corvettes and call it good. Alright.
Reporting. Ready for orders.
Incidentally, this is not why we're bringing the carrier. That is just convenient, because carriers are convenient. No, we're going to bring the carriers because of a bug,
Group 2 copies.
which I will go ahead and explain now on the off chance that it didn't actually happen for once.
Ready for escort.
Like a bug is going to pass me by while I'm doing this shit
Assignment
live, right?
received. Ready for
If you capture one of the enemy cap ships as they're coming out, like when they're near the hyperspace gate, they will go very slowly. You know, when I mentioned that earlier,
awaiting assignment.
many episodes ago when I said that will sometimes happen, well, this is one of the instances where it'll sometimes happen.
Heading set.
You'll cap it, their destroyers here,
Destination
and it'll
confirmed.
take a very long. They'll move very slowly, almost imperceptibly slowly.
Awaiting assignment.
You won't be able to tell that they're moving.
Coordinates confirmed.
You can counteract this by bumping them with a ship of enough mass to actually make them move. They're destroyers, so that pretty much includes all frigates, all super capital ships. The reason I say to bring your carrier... Oh, it's the enemy resource here. Well, we're not going to capture that.
Group 3 responding.
We don't need that. I don't need that anymore. You go ahead and capture it if you want to.
Awaiting assignment.
Don't make it seem... Don't. It's like, oh, Ninja Tom didn't capture it. That means I must never need to capture it ever again. No, it just means Ninja Tom
Acknowledged.
is lazy and impatient, and he's basically saying, hey, if you're lazy and impatient too, this is okay. It's okay. But yeah, the
Locked on target.
reason I say bring a carrier is because most of your ships have an anti-collision thing built into their AI that sort of prevents them from blithely running into
Live reporting.
allied ships.
Group 4 is commanding.
And though it's
Target confirmed.
complete crap and doesn't work every other time, this is one instance where it will function without fail.
Responding. Assignment receiving. Assuming wall formation.
But there's a class of ship that doesn't have any sort of anti-collision AI. And do you know which one it is? It's the carrier. That's how they're able to ram your ship so effectively. You can actually just tell a carrier to move and move into where this is, and unlike the other ships, which will sort of gracefully move around it, it'll just plow right into it like, hey, this is my seat. You're in my seat. Looks like we scared out the resourcer. Okay.
Standing by.
Alright. Okay. So now we take the destroyer and we shoot the hyperspace gate.
Group 3 copies. Understood. Group 4 copies.
Alright.
The enemy has activated.
Okay, yeah, all the hyperspace gates will now have these strike craft and such in front of it.
Combat stations. Target acquired. Group 2 copies. Locked on target. Target confirmed. Target acquired. Engaging. Group 3 combat station. Attack alert received. Group 3 copies.
You can totally take those those support frigates if you want. I'm just gonna blow them up.
Intercept course punched in. Group 2 receiving. Group 3.
Losing a couple salvage corvettes here and there is not a big deal.
Intercept course punched in. Group 3 receiving. Group 2. Locked on target. Group 2 responding. Group 4 acknowledged. Target confirmed. Target confirmed.
Once we take out these guys, then the enemy
Group 3 acknowledged.
super caps will come out.
Coordinates confirmed. Group 4 responding. Group 2 combat clearance received.
Alright, see, there they are.
Group 3 reporting.
Okay.
Standing by. Target selected for self-scan. Group 3 reporting enemy contact. Reporting. Group 4 under attack 3 responding. Group 4. Group 5 copies. Support command acknowledged.
You'll have to be careful with the dang missile destroyer. Oh god, this is a pain in the ass. Because their missiles can continue to hit your salvage corvettes. And the salvage corvettes that are attacking the other destroyers.
3 copies. Group 4 copies. Group 5 receiving. Support command received. Group 3.
They're pretty rough to capture unless you've got your support frigates like right there, immediately ready to help.
Standing
Let's
by.
see if we can do this a little more efficiently.
Command received. Group 5 reporting.
There we go. There we go.
Group 3 receiving. Support is on the way. Hang in there. Docking with support frigate initiated.
Okay, so see how slowly they're going? Now Mr. Carrier comes into play.
Destination confirmed.
I'm pretty sure I already explained this, but in case I didn't, when they're moving slowly like this, you need to bump them with a ship that's large enough to move them. In the cases of destroyers, other destroyers, and super capital ships, and sometimes frigates will work. But most of your ships have anti-collision stuff that they'll use. Makes it very difficult. But the carrier does not. So
Support command acknowledged.
you can just tell the carrier to move where they are, and he will gleefully bump, just ram them.
Underway. New heading set.
In general, they don't. He's not gonna hurt your salvage corvettes doing this, so you don't really need to worry about them. And really, it only matters if he takes out the one on the stupid missile destroyer, because the missiles.
Destination locked in. On our way.
If you're concerned about it, then just come at him from behind. There we go. Alright.
Green line confirmed. Standing by.
Tell them destroyers to take out that.
Awaiting orders.
Bump. See?
Understood.
And then they'll move out at the usual speed. Okie dokie. Alright, I'm gonna cut. I'm gonna rebuild our salvage corvette fleet. We took some casualties there. And we'll let these destroyers here get processed. And we'll come back when we're ready to take the next bite out of the enemy ion cannon frigate sphere. Alright? Alright. Alright, we're ready to make our next poke at the ion cannon frigate sphere. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start working around the edges of this gap that we've created. And once I get around 50, I'm going to stop capturing them, and I'm going to drive straight for the hyperspace inhibitor array. I'm not going to show much more in the way of capturing. You know, I believe, you know, you should have it by now. Should make sense. And you move your proximity sensor towards them, and then when they start moving, you pull your proximity sensor back. So after this little bit, I'm going to cut, and the next time I come back, we'll be dealing with the hyperspace inhibitor, and then we should be good for the next mission.
Destination confirmed.
Okay? Cool. Alright, see you after the cut. Okay, so we're moving now to deal with one of the remaining hyperspace gates. I'm gonna let this one be, and let my frigates deal with it in the event that it makes its way over to the mothership when we attack the hyperspace inhibitor.
Reporting for duty. Assuming claw formation. Acknowledged. Sphere formation confirmed. Ready for orders. Assuming unit confirmed.
Get everyone else sorted out for it. I brought my capture fleet. I'm still deciding on whether or not I actually want to capture the super caps. If they're gonna come out or not.
Ready for orders.
I had moved a carrier over here in readiness for this happening. So, yet another reason why carriers are convenient. Just so I can refuel my strike craft when they get over here. And in the event that we accidentally pull any ion frigates, which we may. I've gathered 53 from this mission, in addition to the ones that I have before. So I call that good. We've got a nice big open space here for our drive-in. And I've
Group 6 responding.
moved my remaining super cap ships into a position where they can attack if they want when the time comes.
Reporting for duty.
Everyone's on aggressive, except for the drone frigates, which are on neutral.
Awaiting
And you want to keep the support frigates on evasive so they don't stop healing to return fire. Oh, looks like we did in fact grab some ion frigates.
3 reporting.
There's something like defenders and mine layer corvettes, which this group will clean up handily without any real consideration on my part. Alright, we'll stop them here.
Responding.
Send it.
New heading set.
Group 6 to combat station.
Yeah, see. I have missile destroyers and
Hold and engage.
drone frigates in the area, so they're just gonna, yeah, they're gonna explode.
Group 7 to combat stations.
Yeah, they're fine.
Cruiser under attack.
Standing by.
There you are.
Target selected for cell.
Cool, and they'll just take him back to the carrier. And then I will have 54 ion cannon frigates. Okay.
Group 7. Reporting. Reporting for duty. Support command received. Responding. Support
What I've done
command
with
Group 4.
this group here,
Group 6.
while everything's getting back into formation over by the hyper gate, is I took my heavy cruisers and put them in broad formation. And then I took my missile destroyers and put them in broad formation and told them to guard the cruisers.
Receiving.
And then I took my remaining destroyers and put them in wall formation
Assuming wall formation.
and told them to guard the heavy cruisers.
Awaiting orders.
And then each of the drone frigates
Warning received. Standing
is
by.
guarding
Reporting for escort.
a heavy
Escort
cruiser,
duty confirmed.
and the support frigates are healing the whole group. Some of them, including other support frigates. Make sense? Good, I'm glad. Makes sense to me too. Alright, so they're just gonna say Group 4's on neutral. Yeah, they're gonna take him over to the carrier for processing. So,
Locked on target. Group 3 acknowledged. Ready for orders. Destination confirmed.
oh.
Group 4
Hang on there, Group
acknowledged.
4. We got some more ion cannon frigates coming to play.
Group 3 responding. Receiving. Course set.
I think at this point, I'm just going to destroy the enemy ships when they come out. It's a pain in the butt to get them to come back because they're going to do that slow thing. I'm going to have to bump them with the carrier again. So, yeah, I'm gonna take them out. You know, I think we've deserved a little wanton destruction after all this, huh? And if you don't agree, though, feel free to capture those ships when you in your playthrough, you know.
Acknowledged. Awaiting orders. On our way.
Alright. So as soon as this ion cannon frigate gets in sight, we'll get cracking on it. Let's get these back.
Reporting for escort. Light control engaged, assuming position. Group 4 responding.
There we go.
Salvage target acquired.
Alright, I said Group 4 to evade because they were clearly turning to engage that ion cannon frigate, which is not what we want.
Enemy ion cannon frigate captured.
Group 4. Awaiting assignment. Standing by. Standing by. Acknowledged, ready for escort. Assignment received.
It's good I can't like shift click a guard command.
Reporting. On our way.
By that I mean just be like, hey, guard this guy too, instead of having to get them all in one bandbox, which is going to be tough.
Guarding 5 responding.
There we go. Alright.
Support command acknowledged.
Set a couple of them to
Ready for order.
half of them to repair all of them.
Support command acknowledged.
And now,
Salvage field release.
Group 4 back in neutral.
Group 4 reporting.
We can
Target confirmed.
tell them to go ahead and engage.
Engaging. Awaiting assignment.
Let's get this group over here out of the way.
Talking with carrier initiated.
Enemy ion cannon frigate captured.
Group 1. Group 2 reporting. We're under attack. Group 4 acknowledged. Attack clearance received. Group 2. Group 2 acknowledged.
Oops.
Wall. Locked. Group 1 copies. Target selected for salvaging.
No need to be wasteful, right?
Salvage target acquired. Group 1. Group 4 to combat stations. Target acquired. 5.
Let's see if I can't get my
Group 1 reporting. Target confirmed. Group 2 responding.
Corvettes to annoy Mr.
Locked on
Enemy
alert.
ion cannon
Group
frigate
5
captured.
acknowledged. Group 3 reporting enemy contact. 3 copies. Receiving.
Go, get on that.
Target selected for salvage. Group 5 copies.
Alright, let's get our...
Support is on the way to Kingston. Group 1 receiving. Group 3 receiving. Coming into dock with carrier. Group 5 receiving. Support command received.
Get our support frigates to
Reporting enemy contact. Support command acknowledged.
assist our,
Group 2 receiving. Responding.
Cruiser reporting damage.
Locked on to carrier. Group 3 on air attack. Group 6 reporting. Group 4.
Cruiser under fire.
And, alright, Group 4. Alright. Improve your point. You're the best. Around. Okay,
Group 5 reporting.
let's get them on the ones that are trying to grab the dang missile Corvette.
Group 3 copies.
Or missile destroyer. You knew what I meant. You knew what I meant, YouTube.
Awaiting assignment.
Said that damn thing so many times.
Target selected for salvaging.
The same stupid mistake. Alright, get in there.
Support command acknowledged.
Get in there, get in there, get in there, get in there, get in there.
Support command
There we
received.
go. That's enough out of you. That's enough.
Group 5. Support is on the way. Negative 3 reporting.
Alright, I think we got this one in the bag. Hey.
Standing by.
Alright.
Alert, alert. And retrieving drones. Roger. These are orders urged in. Repeat. Where are those orders? Reporting for duty. Reporting for duty. Green line confirmed. Reporting for Escort 6 receiving. Support command received.
We'll get Group 6
Acknowledged.
back on our super caps here. And,
Support command acknowledged. Waiting for orders.
alright, I'm gonna cut here while I do the
Support command
like
received.
fiddle with the, once again I'm going to whoa.
Group 5
I
acknowledged.
keep pulling more and more ion cannon frigates.
Target selected for salvaging.
Make sure we get both of them in that mix.
Group 5 responding.
Alright, we'll be good. Any more? Alright, that is plenty. I think what we're gonna do here is commence operation blow up ion cannon frigates.
Destination locked in.
Just get
Awaiting assignment.
Mr. Carrier here. We'll
Salvage field released. We're letting
hang
go.
on. We'll just there we go. We'll get him to bump these guys. The thing is, you know, you have to bump them again when they start. Like, you know, they bring all three of these back to the mothership, and when two of them stop because the third one's being brought into the mothership, you have to bump them again.
Responding.
And even when they're that close to the mothership, it's a significant increase in the amount of time required.
Group 4 reporting. Standing by.
Alright, there's you.
Enemy ion cannon frigate captured.
Group 5 copies.
Let's get Group 5 back over here.
Support command received. Responding. Acknowledged.
Alright, just got that one. Oop. Go get that one.
Group 4
Group 4, you handling the biz? Oh yeah, they're handling the biz. You gonna try and ram a destroyer, bro? Oh, okay. I was about to be like, what?
Interceptor responding in.
Get it back on you. Chow, chow, chow. There we go. Yeah. Get you back on neutral, too.
Group 4 copies.
Alright.
Target confirmed. Reporting for duty. Reporting for duty.
Bumpity bump bump bumpity bump bump. Doesn't look like bumping this dude actually seemed to increase the speed at which he was being hauled in. We'll have to maybe give him another one for luck.
Receiving. Group 4, destination locked in.
Alright, yeah, this is usually how it breaks down for me. I go to deal with this last hypergate. I capture some more ion frigates and then rapidly get bored with it. And then enemy ion frigates move in. And then Group 4 goes in and cleans house on them, essentially.
Responding. On our way.
This missile destroyer may get blown up when it gets back to the mothership, to be honest. Make sure all our mothership dudes are on evasive.
Mothership.
I'll need to remember to turn that off when
Standing by.
comes time to.
You heading set.
Group 9 reassigned.
Group 9 resuming wall formation. Reporting.
Oh. Seems that gentleman there is not being captured by anyone. Or you know what? He's trying to get into the carrier here, but I'm making it tough because he keeps moving. Come on.
Confirmed.
Group 4 under attack.
Group 4.
Yeah, you guys got this.
Attack clearance received.
Alright, I'm gonna cut. I'll come back once we're ready to move the Uber group over here out. Alright? Alright. Okay, so we're getting the last of their super caps all nice and processed. So we're gonna put everyone over here back onto neutral so they'll attack when enemy ships get in the way. And we're gonna take our proximity sensors and we're gonna have them link up
Enemy destroyer
with
captured.
our much larger fleet here.
Roger.
And we're going to drive them in towards the center. It's up to you if you want to bring this battle group over here along. This group has all the firepower you're ever going to need, so it's not necessary. You want to make very sure that you get your proximity sensors up with your attack fleet, though, because the enemy ships are going to be cloaked. But, I mean, they're so much faster than a heavy cruiser that as long as you just tell them to catch up before you move them out, you'll be fine. Alright, skip the cutscene. Go ahead and set Group 6 here to aggressive.
Reporting.
Now, you see how that cutscene went off and now all of the ion cannon frigates are moving. They're not collapsing in to attack, which would be the smart thing. Instead, they're moving off to the side and reforming again in a slightly smaller sphere. I'm not sure what the logic behind that was. I'm really not. It's a mystery to me. Now,
Group 6 receiving.
all this time I've had all my super caps here just sort of guarding the heavy cruisers. That was just to keep the formation nice and neat while I was moving to engage. Once we actually get into the battle proper here, I'll just be giving commands to the whole group, and then they will move as a series of independent formations that all happen to be given the same command. This is beneficial. This allows the more maneuverable ships to maneuver. But you know, you're able to get a reason, you know, there is a cohesive whole rather than a series of groups arriving at the speed of the fastest first.
Standing by.
We're gonna keep moving towards the enemy hyperspace inhibitor. There's a heavy cruiser and a carrier, and a large number of destroyers. Here, I think 4 or 5, and they're not gonna be coming at you piecemeal for once. Let's go ahead and move these guys back just a bit.
Escort duty confirmed.
Oh no, an ion cannon frigate. Must have been one of the ones that was just... I guess we snagged one. Whatever, not a big deal. Yep.
Proximity alert.
I think we got him. Yep. Okay, let's move over here to deal with this destroyer group. move some a little, some of these proximity sensors a little farther forward. Oh, there we go. And open fire. See, I just gave the command to the whole Group 6.
Cloaking field detected.
No longer any need to
Proximity warning.
constrain them to the speed of the slow. What? No, must have been because I didn't have a target.
Cloak ships detected.
Surprised they lasted as long as they did, to be honest. Alright.
Cloaking ships detected.
Group 6 to combat station 7 under attack. Group 7 acknowledged.
Huh.
Cloaking field detected.
Group 6 reporting. Engaging. Target confirmed.
Cloak ships detected.
Alright, there's the enemy heavy cruiser, so as soon as this destroyer goes down, we're going to immediately switch to him.
Course punched in. Attack clearance received.
Cloaking ships detected.
Waiting assignment. Group 4 acknowledged responding. Group 6 acknowledged. Group 6 responding. 7 responding. Group 6 under Group 6 copies.
Cloaking field detected.
Okay.
Engaging.
You know what?
4 responding.
I'm going to move Group 4 over here to take out this carrier. So I think he's going to try and escape. And now, the real benefit of this will come into play, having them in different formations. It makes them a lot more maneuverable when it comes to avoiding these hyperspace inhibitors. Go ahead and set your dudes on neutral, because when they're aggressive, they tend to get very close to their target, and we don't want them to do that, because these hyperspace inhibitors will crush even your heavy cruisers instantly if you're not alert.
Group 4.
So just keep that in mind.
Green line confirmed. Group 6 reporting. Copies.
Now, at some point, I think once we actually start attacking the hyperspace inhibitor, they'll start, the destroyer complement for this hyperspace gate will come out and attack the mothership. So don't need to worry about that.
Locked on target.
Alright.
Group 4 reporting.
Now, if you're new to this game, I don't advise you using multiple,
Group 6 receiving.
like controlling Group 6 and Group 4 at the same time. You really got to pay attention while you're attacking the hyperspace inhibitor, because your ships will run into it. They will just, they'll do it. You've seen it. You know, especially got to be careful of your support frigates.
Proximity alert.
See, just be giving them move commands.
Destination locked in. Underway. Attack clearance received. Course set.
Proximity warning.
Intercept course punched in. Group 4 acknowledged. Understood. Group 6 acknowledged.
Alright. If you lose a ship,
On our way.
don't fret.
Locked on target.
We've got plenty of ships left over for anything else we could possibly want to do. Alright. But with the exception of their counterattack, their very weak and
Proximity
limp
alert.
counterattack, this is the rest of the mission. Just being careful not to let your ships ram, or try to ram the hyperspace inhibitor.
Group 4 responding.
Making sure their carrier doesn't actually escape.
Destination confirmed. Group 6 responding.
See how close they're getting to that?
You heading
Don't
set.
want to do that. Do not do that.
Target acquired. confirmed.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Underway.
What the hell are you doing? See, there they go. Charging that shit.
Destination left hand copies. Target confirmed. Group 6.
Just gotta be aware that they'll do that.
New heading set.
Alright. Don't get impatient. I know it's weird hearing me say that, but
Intercept course punched in.
that's how your fleet will get blowed all up.
Proximity warning.
Oh, hey, another ion cannon
Locked on
frigate.
target. Group 4. Group 6 copies.
Just handle him real quick. Alright, move over there.
Underway.
You want to be engaging these hyperspace inhibitors from the side. You don't want to be like above. I think that was.
Proximity
4
alert.
reporting.
Yep.
Group 4
Yeah, that
acknowledged.
shit.
Group
You don't want them to be like
intercept
here
course punched in.
or anything like that. Oh man, are you that stupid?
Coordinates confirmed. Group 4 responding. Group 6 receiving.
These guys are being
Understood.
epically uncooperative right now.
Destination confirmed.
Everyone too evasive.
Group 4
Hey.
reporting to duty.
See what I mean?
Group 4
Stupid
copies.
support
5
frigates.
copies.
Alright.
Group 7 5 reporting.
I just wasn't able to
Group 4.
click their damn formation fast enough.
Group 6 responding.
Tell you what, we're just gonna have the cruisers do it. We're gonna move the cruisers in here and let them handle it. You know, a support frigate at this point is not a big deal at all. It's not. Honestly, we might be able to pull off the next couple missions sans support frigates entirely, because we've assembled a great big hammer of a fleet. We literally don't have to be subtle anymore. We can just
Target acquired.
balls to the wall silly. We just have to be careful not to get our fleet smashed by the hyperspace inhibitors. And once I take this out, we're done. I'm leaving. We're taking out. We're hyperspacing out of here. There's really nothing to detain us. Okay. You can harvest here if you really want, but one of the harvester patches is now surrounded by however many ion cannon frigates there are left, so yeah. Be aware of that.
Proximity warning.
There we go. There we go. Oh, hey.
Group 4 reporting. Attack clearance received. Group 6 acknowledged. Attack clearance received. New heading set. Group 4 responding. Locked on target. Group 6 copies.
Proximity alert.
Locked on target.
Boom. 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 Okay, sweet. Alright, gentlemen, that's
The
it.
field surrounding the Homeworld system has been shut down.
Target acquired.
Hyperdrive online.
Alright, I'm gonna reassemble the fleet. But that'll be it for this. That's it. Episode 11 complete. Congratulations, we have beaten the Bridge of Sighs. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on episode 12 of Ninja Tom's Homeworld walkthrough.